We will get started. So, um, I think the first thing is just kind of going over some of our programs that we have at the Golf Academy. We run at both of our locations at Rancho Carlsbad and at Omni. We run our mini golfers, which some of you on this call for the 3 to 6 year olds. We have our junior Operation 36 program. Our junior Operation 36 intermediate class is now at La Costa. And then we have ladies, and actually it's a co-ed. We have a co-ed class as well at Rancho Carlsbad that we run, and we run these classes all year round. We have our PGA Junior League. It's kind of like Little League baseball, but for golf. The kids get they get jerseys with numbers and their names in the back. You can actually see in the picture there where we're all wearing orange. That's from one of our seasons of the PGA Junior League. And then we do classes that are focused only out on the golf course. So not on the driving range or the short game area. We go out on the course every single time. We do our private lessons, whether it's built into to the Operation 36 program at Rancho Carlsbad, or separately, we also have coaches who teach private lessons throughout the week, all year round. And then we do winter and summer camps as well. So, just kind of starting out. I am the founder of the Raising Golfers Golf Academy. We're coming up on almost our fifth year here in Carlsbad. A little background about myself. I'm originally from Northern California and been a PGA professional since 2012. I shifted gears after leaving my hometown and went to Shanghai, China, and I worked at a golf academy in Shanghai for 5 years. And after we had our first of two children, we got my oldest child really into the game of golf, and then I got my second one into it. So my wife plays golf as well, so we've all kind of to fall in love with the game, and I like to play regularly as well. And I think it's just a wonderful game that we can play for the rest of our lives. A great tool is we have the Raising Golfers podcast. There's just over 100 episodes on there of interviews of coaches and parents and players from all over the world. And I think it's a great resource for really anybody who's involved in sports for the youth, not even just golf. And then, again, I mentioned we started the Golf Academy, and the podcast was actually first, and then the Golf Academy actually came second. So the Golf Academy was a spinoff from the podcast, ironically. So here's some of our academy staff at our golf academy. We've actually grown quite a bit over the last year. So we have some other staff whose pictures aren't on here yet. And then we also, at our other location at La Costa, we use three of the staff members from La Costa that also help us with coaching as well. So you're going to see a bunch of us out there. And while I'm on this page, you're going to see pretty much the same coaches for your classes. So, as our academy coaches work, we will be at one location on a specific day, and then maybe the next day our coaches shift to a different location. But let's say your Tuesdays at 4 o'clock, you're going to see pretty much the same four coaches at those practices every single class. A question that we get a lot is like, we don't have golf clubs yet. Should we bring golf clubs? If you don't have golf clubs yet, don't go out and get them. You don't need to. We have plenty that you can borrow. And if it's for an adult or for your own child that's joining the program, I would say wait until you feel that either you or your child are more committed to the game. And then after that, come talk to us coaches so we can send you in the right direction for getting golf clubs. The last thing that we would want is for you to go out and get a new set of clubs, and they're a little bit too long or too heavy for especially for the kids, or even it depends on sometimes with some of our adults as well. So definitely consult us, and we can send you out in the right direction to make sure that you're getting the right product for yourself. And then as far as attire goes, at Rancho Carlsbad, you can just wear comfortable clothes. We try to avoid cutoffs and tank tops. For just generally speaking. And then with shoes, you don't need to go out and get golf shoes or cleats. I would say just start with like a sneaker or a running shoe, is something that's comfortable. And for the kids, especially who are new, with golf shoes, it takes them quite a while to understand how to walk on the greens. And kids like to twist and turn and run and slide. And so even just for the general, I guess, maintenance of the golf course, golf shoes aren't necessarily necessary quite yet. Not until they start developing some significant amount of speed. If you haven't been to Rancho Carlsbad yet, it's right off of El Camino Real. You turn onto Rancho Carlsbad Drive, and if you see on the image I have on here, right where it says drive, there's a security gate right there. There's two lanes. Stay in the right lane and just roll your window down and let them know you're going to the golf course. And then you'll take that first right. You're going to park right there in the parking lot. And then there's a pedestrian walking bridge where you see the arrow going to check in. And you don't need to go into the golf shop to check in. You're actually going to see us. We'll be out by the practice putting green. You'll see we'll have like a wagon and some other equipment. And you can, on that first class, you'll kind of see us hanging out by a big eucalyptus tree. Just head on over there and you can ask if this is the right place on your first day of class for meeting for the classes, and that's where we'll meet every single class. All right, so we're going to go into like I said, we're going to cover a couple of our different programs. We're going to start with the mini golfers. And so the mini golfers is for the students who have signed up for the ages mostly between 3 and 6, and we call this play to learn. So we have a mascot, Golfosaurus, which I need to get into one of these photos. And Golfosaurus is traveling around the world and he's having all kinds of fun and adventures. And the students are trying to help Golfosaurus on each class achieve some sort of goal or do something within the adventure, whether they're going to the mountains or in the Wild West. And the story really extracts the I guess the environment and the learning out of the kids, and it just makes it for a fun environment. And the way I always say this, my youngest is in kindergarten at the moment. But like if you go into a kindergarten classroom and you listen to the teachers or you see how the classroom environment is set up, like the kids are just wired for adventure and stories, and this resonates with them. And we're not heavy with the golf instruction, so it's very basic instruction. We're trying to keep it very positive and really just want to have them have a really fun, positive experience where they say, "Hey, I really like golf," and we want them to keep coming back. Uh, so, again, similar to that, the idea of kids in kindergarten or preschool or that age, like they really learn through play, and there's just so many things that they can extract through play. And so you'll see we'll have a bunch of different targets up and things that relate to the story for that week. And there's just so much I think that the kids can get out of it besides just learning golf itself. And I think it's going to make them feel a lot more comfortable. They can start to learn how to problem solve, meaning they can even learn how to start controlling what the angle of the club face is, so that controls the direction of which way the golf ball goes. And we'll also do other things besides golf, where we'll do some throwing, we'll do some kicking, we'll do some catching, and really just help them develop their skills and just make it a really fun environment. So this is a short little video about our mini golfers. I think it's just about a minute long or so. And so I'll just play this so you guys can watch it. I think it's pretty fun. All right. Yes, that was you can kind of see with the games and activities, we getting them out on the golf course, out in the driving range. There's just so much fun that we can have with the mini golfers. I really love the mini golfer program. I think it's a great opportunity for kids this age to learn the game of golf, and I think kids can learn golf as soon as they start walking. All right, so we're gonna carry on now. So we'll come back and answer some questions about the mini golfers that if anybody has that's on the call. And then if you only have a mini golfer, I'm gonna talk about Operation 36, but if you could hang on the call because there's an important thing I want to talk to you guys about with the Operation 36 app and downloading the app. And then also you can kind of see what the next program looks like if let's just say your child's 5 or 6 years old and they're in our program for 6 months or a year, and then they're ready for the next program, which many of these students transition from our mini golfers into the junior Operation 36 program. I would say hang tight and listen in on the call. So uh, I used to make this mistake when I was starting out coaching, and really I think, you know, I used to say this, and a lot of coaches might even still say this, that you're not ready for the golf course if you're just starting out. And we'll say, you need to have X amount of lessons. You might need to learn some etiquette and learn, how to use all the clubs in your bag before getting out on the golf course. And I used to say this as well, but now I truly do believe it's fundamentally flawed. And, if you've ever gone out and, taken your child out, or maybe if some of our adults who are new to the program have gone out with some friends to play, they'll say, okay, you got to start over here to the left side, which is called the tee box. And you've got to tee off from this tee box area, and then you start playing the hole, and you're hitting the golf ball over the place. And the problem is, it's like it becomes frustrating. You don't really know like what clubs to use. There's no real plan on how to improve. You don't know how to hit out of different environments, whether it's the fairway bunkers or out of the rough, and with certain clubs. And so, again, it can become frustrating very quickly. Now, the solution with Operation 36 is once you get out onto the golf course, which it could be even your first class at Rancho Carlsbad, or it might even be if you show up to the first 9-hole challenge, which is supposed to be next Saturday, or sorry, the following Saturday on November 15th. We're going to have you start relatively close to the hole, and you're going to learn these skills to help you score from close to the hole. So you're going to start learning with chipping and putting and maybe some, smaller swings. And then you'll start to develop and learn more skills. And as you begin to develop and shoot this score of 36, which I'll go into detail about, you start to move further and further away from the hole during these 9-hole challenges to tee off. And what's great about it is it goes all the way back to the full tees at a regulation golf course. It doesn't happen overnight, but there's a plan for you to actually be able to progress all the way back to these further teeing areas. So what's great about it is, especially at Rancho Carlsbad, the 9-hole challenges on the weekends, those usually take between an hour and 15 minutes and an hour and a half. It's very goal centered, so it's not like you're going for first place or second place. You're just trying to shoot a score of 36 or lower when you're out on the golf course. And it's simple. You start close to the hole. Once you learn the skills on how to score close to the hole, you start to move further and further away from the hole. So in Operation 36, the whole program's based around on-course improvement and on-course development. We have a long-term built-in curriculum and also the Operation 36 app, which we'll get into. So as I mentioned, the way it works once you're in the 9-hole challenges, so if you come to the first 9-hole challenge and you just started in the program, you're going to be starting from just 25 yards off the green. And you're going to play all 9 holes from 25 yards off the green. When you shoot 36 or lower, and like I said, it might take some time, then you move back the next time after you pass that level of shooting 36 lower, and you go back to level 2. And then you play all 9 holes from level 2. Once you shoot 36 from there, you go back to level 3, and then it carries all the way on. At Rancho Carlsbad, we have levels 1 through 4, and then once you pass level 4, you shift over for your 9-hole challenges to La Costa, just because they have a full-length golf course. And again, it goes all the way back to full regulation tees. So we've already scheduled these 9-hole challenges. There's 4 of them in this semester. We have 1 in November, 1 in December, and 2 in January. And you guys all should have gotten the welcome email that was sent out this afternoon, and all of the dates are on there. So now this semester is quite interesting. My calendar over here only has 2 months. We're spread across 3 months just because we take a break for the week of Thanksgiving, the week of Christmas, and also the week of New Year's. So in a perfect world, we'd have the classes every week, and then every other week we would have a 9-hole challenge. Well, for our semester, it's a little bit different. Like I said, because we're going to do 2 weeks of classes, and then we have a week off for Thanksgiving, and then we come back for, I believe, 3 more weeks, and then we have 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's, and then we come back again for 3 more weeks. But again, you're getting the full 8 weeks and the 8 classes and the 4 9-hole challenges. Okay, so that's starting off with the on-course development side, which is the 9-hole challenges. Now let's get into how we structure our classes. So each class, when you come to the class, we are going to be teaching based off of the Operation 36 curriculum. In the app, you, as either the parent or the adult who's part of the program, will have access to the education and the things that we're teaching you. There's some really cool short videos to reinforce the learning. And we're going to be introducing a topic to you. And then while you're at our station, we're gonna have you do some practice. We're gonna be doing some coaching, and then we'll have a challenge board up that'll keep you or your child engaged in the learning of the activity that you're doing. And then we usually finish at the end with a short game, and then the groups rotate. So if you were just on the driving range, then after about 30 minutes, you're gonna rotate to the short game area. If you were on the short game area, you're gonna rotate to the driving range. Some of our classes for the mini golfers might have 12 students, or the Operation 36 classes might have 18 students. And those classes, we also have a third group that goes out onto the golf course for the time frame of the entire class, and that rotates. So then every 3 weeks or so, your child or you as one of the adults would then rotate in and be able to go out on the golf course and have a practice on the course, which is really cool. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but the curriculum has a variety of topics. So you can see just the first couple there: posture, power, and grip. And in our program of learning, there's 6 different levels. So let's say you're at the 25-yard mark or level 1 in the program because you're just starting. Then we're going to be teaching you the curriculum that is based for a player at that level. And we'll be teaching you level 1 posture, level 1 power, whatever the topic is for the day. And those skills and what you're learning aligns with your current skill that you have out on the golf course. Now, some of our players who are at level 5, they're going to be learning level 5 topics, and it's going to be much more technical and again more aligned with the skills they need to have and use to eventually shoot 36 or lower for 9 holes out onto the golf course. So with the app, I'm going to stop here for a second. In today's welcome email, there's a link, and then also there is a QR code, whichever is easier for you. It's very important that all of you download the Operation 36 app because we're going to be sending most of our communication out and emails through the Operation 36 app. And so if you are not connected onto the app, you might miss some of the communication that we will be sending out. And the same goes for the mini golfers. So the mini golfers, we would like for you guys to also download the app, and we'll be attaching you to a class within the app. And again, that way you'll be getting the updates for the communication for our 9 hole challenges or play days. If anything based on weather comes up and we have to adjust something with the schedule. And also, you can play around as a mini golfer. You can play around in the app and just kind of see what the next program actually looks like. So what else? What other types of features are there? So first one, you can look at the curriculum. It's super cool. You can scroll through. So if you're a level 1 player, you can read through all those things. You can click on each one. So you can click on power. You can read about what level 1 power is. You can watch a short video, and that's the similar things that we have been doing in our golf class. So for parents who have kids in the program, if your kids are anything like mine, after they go to school or do a practice for a sport, and I say, "Hey, how was the practice?" They say, "Great." "Hey, what'd you do?" And they're like, "I don't know." Well, you'll get a weekly email with the curriculum that we're going to be teaching for the class for the Operation 36 program, and then you can go back and watch a short video on what the topic is. So at least at a minimum, you'll know, okay, so I knew what the topic was, I know what they're teaching, and then if I want to go and help my child out on the range and answer any questions they have, at least we're all on the same page. And then also through the app, we can do some private goals, which is cool. So I've had some students that want some private goals, and we can actually set that within the app, and they can try to practice and achieve those goals. And then there's other cool training videos. So if you see on the left side on the actual big phone there in the blue circle, it says training my skills. So in the app, you can click there, and there's some really cool putting activities, chipping activities, driving activities, and so you can utilize those to practice. And we also hand out a monthly drill sheet, which is basically like monthly homework to all of the participants in the Operation 36 program. And many times we actually utilize those drills and videos. So for your child or for yourself to access them, you have to have the app downloaded so that way you can do your monthly homework. And then again, like I said, we send announcements out. So generally you'll get a message on your app, and then we can also connect it and have it sent to your email as well. So before I talk about this next page, please make sure you do click the link and download the app. If you are a parent who already has a child in the program, or let's just say you're one of the adults, so maybe you're one of the ladies and you and your child are going to be in the program, you can add both of you into your app, into your account, which is cool. And if you need more assistance on that, you can email me afterwards and I can guide you through that. So within the app, we can log things like your practice, and we encourage you to log your practice within the app. We log your nine-hole challenge scores and your rounds, and if you do any of the training in the app, you can log that as well. And what's cool is like we can generate reports and things based on the information that's inputted into the app. So this is a player here who started in the program looks like over 4 years ago in September 2021. And then what's cool is in the bottom right corner it says my level journey. You can see what score they shot on which date and when they shot 36 or lower, and then how that went all the way through. And then now this player has made it all the way up into level 8. What also is cool about this is sometimes as a player, you're like, am I even getting better at this game? Am I even improving? And if you look on the kind of middle center left section there, you see that number 67. So this player has improved by 67 strokes, and that's basically through all their levels. So let's just say level 1, their first time they shot a 44, and then when they passed, they shot a 34. Well, they improved by 10 strokes, and then it resets for level 2 and 3. So this player has made some really good progression. They've just by the strokes, and you can see they put some time into their training, and then they've logged 100 over 100 rounds of golf, which is pretty impressive. So there's lots of cool features and tools, and the app's just really cool. All right, so private lessons. This is something we added a few years back. So if you're in the Operation 36 program, anyone who's enrolled, so if you have multiple children or if you're an adult and you have a child, you can get a 30-minute lesson. It's included in the price that you have paid. And I sent the instructions in that welcome email. The only thing that is very important is you must take this lesson before the semester is over. So the semester is going to end January 24th of 2026. Uh, Myself and Coach Juniper, who's our lead coach, will be sending out communication with you. Juniper is really good about pretty much every week reminding you to book your private lesson because every semester, the last week or two, the lesson calendar is very full because people have forgotten to book their lessons earlier in the semester. And then there's no more space because there was lots of space early on or in the middle of the semester, and they've all waited to the end. We can't extend the lessons to the next semester. So, unfortunately, if you don't take it, you do lose it. And so I definitely take this opportunity up because we do video analysis. We can help you on things, whether it's, trying to figure out as simple as what club do I need to use for level 2 when I'm teeing off. It can be more technical as far as some, clear issues that you might be having. And then also the coaches might hand out to you or to your child a little flyer if there's something they feel like they could spend a little extra time with your child with. And so let's say you've already done your private lesson and you get one of those flyers, and if you are interested, you could book an additional private lesson with the coach. And for our juniors, we do 30-minute lessons, and those are $60 in addition. But if you're just content with the classes and you're content with the private lessons already included, that's totally great. We just highly recommend that you do get on there and book that and get that onto your calendar. And then just we have different platforms. So you guys use the enrollment portal to sign up. Hopefully you're downloading the Operation 36 app. The instructions for booking your private lesson for the Operation 36 students is in that email. And then we have an Academy calendar. It's on our website on raisinggolfers.com. There's a tab called resources. So if you're like, I don't know what week we are anymore, or how many more weeks do we have, or when's the last week this semester? It's all up to date through the end of January, and it's on our website, so you can always go on there as a great resource. I think pretty much everybody on this call is already enrolled in the program. If you have friends that want to join a class of yours, if there's still space available, you can take a picture of the QR code and you can send it to your friends to scan it. That goes to our enrollment portal. And if you're curious, what we are about, or any feedback we've had from customers or students, you can go on to Google. And if you go into Google Maps, you can look at a business's reviews. We're on there. We're tagged right there at Rancho Carlsbad Golf Course, and you can read through some of our reviews from the families who've been in our program. So, on my podcast, I had a gentleman named Jim Hardy. He runs the training for the U.S. Kids Golf, and they do training for coaches all over the world. And then they also make junior golf clubs. I think they make probably the best junior golf clubs that are out there. And he said, make golf fun enough, long enough so they can't get enough. And I think we really tried to live up to that at our golf academy with all of our coaches. And we really hope that you guys have a wonderful first experience with us at the golf academy. So, that's the end of my orientation part, but I would love to open it up to see if anybody has any questions related to the any of our programs. And if you think of a question after the call's finished, feel free to send myself an email or another person you'll see who is on a lot of our communication is Bob Lundblad. He's our operations manager. He is very good about responding to questions and answering things for you guys. So you can also use him as a resource too. Well, if we don't have any questions, I really appreciate you guys' time. I hope you guys are excited to get started next week with the Golf Academy, and we look forward to meeting you guys all out at the golf course. So thanks so much, guys.